Hey folks, I wanted to show you a project I've been working on. It's these flow frames for the tea hive. If you remember, the tea hive has two boxes that go on the back for the honey. We're going to try out something different this season, and we're going to put one box of these flow frames and see how they work. Now, with these frames, when you place them on a hive, well, normally on a normal hive, you tilt the hive because honey flows on these, and there has to be a tilt to it. So I built a tilt into this box. If you can see here, there's a gap underneath. This lines up with the bottom board of the brood box on the tea hive, and the tea hive has big holes here for the bees to be able to go through the wall. So they'll be able to go right into these frames right here and work them. Now, on the back side where I access, I can pull out this little plug, and then I have a key that I insert here and turn it, and it severs the cells and creates a gap there where the honey runs down and comes out this hole. And that's why you need the slope, so that the honey will come out these holes. You take off this little plug here, and then there is a tube that fits here and comes down into your bucket. I'm sure you guys are familiar with how these work, but it's an interesting design and an interesting concept I want to try on a horizontal hive. I haven't seen it used that many times on horizontals. Some people in Australia do it, but I think they will work really good for the inline hive. And I'll use a transparent inner cover here on the top, and then we'll be able to see through the back the bees working, because this closes off all the way. I waxed up these frames. You can see some of the wax right there. So that the bees will be able to work it really well. On these auto frames, you have to wax them. So I don't know if the camera will pick up this old wax I use for this. You wax them so that the bees will work them really well. You use clean, good beeswax. This is set up to fit on a 10 frame box. 10 regular Langstroth frames equals 7 of these flow frames. So I finished this box, and I wanted to show a few little details. I made these gaskets here. This is like duct tape, Gorilla Tape. These work as flexible gaskets so that they have a barrier that won't let bees leak out. These will touch the frames, and it will provide kind of a flexible door there so that you can still move frames side to side, but you won't leak bees out the back. All right, now we have the frames in here. These auto or flow frames. You can see the bees can enter through this. They can go through all these gaps here or underneath, right? They go up through these frames. And on the back side, then you see this flexible gasket with that Gorilla Tape. And this is all solid through here, so the bees can't come out. We can look through, but they can't come out. So that ought to work really well. Here's the inner cover. It's a transparent plastic. It was a plastic bag that some food items came in. I cut it to size here. It drapes over the back, and with the lid it'll press it up firm against this, but I can come and access the back and see what's going on in the hive without bees leaking out. They will propolize this all down in due time. It has this styrofoam XPS lid, okay? This is very simple the way I made this lid with 1-inch XPS that you can get at Home Depot or anywhere. You use Gorilla Glue clear to glue everything down, and then I run along the seams with some PL 300, and that gets it real nice and sealed up. I'm going to try something new with this and cover this with what's called poor man's fiberglass to give it a durable finish on the outside. Here's the poor man's fiberglass lid. I made it out of the XPS from Home Depot, and then a layer of Type Bond glue, wood glue, Type Bond 3, and then I put on a layer of canvas drop cloth, just the cheapest canvas drop cloth you can get, and let that dry and harden, and it makes for a really durable finish, a real nice outer coat on this, very, very strong. So now we'll paint it, several coats of paint here, and that should finish it all off. You can see some of the details of how that comes out. Very, very durable. Can't scratch it or dent it or anything like that like you would be able to with this XPS. The one thing is on the interior, it leaves a rough edge. So for sliding over the box real tight on the sides on this plywood, it wasn't working that well. So what I did was I put this tape all along this edge, and it makes it slide on a lot easier. You can see it slopes to the back, so water should run off just really nice. I also added a little layer inside here to raise the lip up, to give it a lip so that the water would come here and not go. That's the side that it meets the brood box, so I don't want water coming down this way. You can see there's a little bit of a ridge there. What I did is cut the seam off of the canvas and glued that seam down first, and then put the poor man's fiberglass on top of that. So it makes for a nice little edge there, drip edge. I think this is going to work great. So I'm out at the tea hive, and I'm opening this up, and you can see the bees in there. That's the brood box. That's their winter configuration. We confine them to a single box, a 10 frame box over winter. You can see how the bees can come and go down below and also through the walls. So now I'm going to put on their flow super over here. So I left this open so you can see how the bees can come right through into this flow super. So there's the flow super on the tea hive, all installed. You can see how it presses right up against the brood box there. I've got the transparent inner cover. It's blowing around in the wind a little bit. You can see the bees coming up through the frames there. So I'm going to shut this down. I think this is going to work great. So there's the flow super. Poor man's fiberglass lid is on it. It's all ready to go. It fits pretty nice. I think it's going to work really well. Hope you have a great one.